Okay, so this is the second lesson. Fractional exponents is the topic for today. When our objective, you're going to simplify exponent expressions with fractional exponents. So yesterday we talked about exponential properties. We reviewed those. Now today we're actually going to apply it at an Algebra 2 level, all of those, and use fractions. So you have to know how to use your fractions from of old, from remember like 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, fractions. So, and just get used to those. And there's a couple things you have to keep in mind when we work on this is the property whenever we have anything to a negative power. So let's say we have a to the negative first. What happens to the negative power? Do we like that negative power? No. So we want to make sure that we move it to the opposite end of the fraction, okay, to fix it. The other thing we don't like is, let's say we have like a fractional exponent in the denominator. So if you look right here, fractional exponent. This is going to be an exponent of fraction. We don't like them in the denominator, so I'm going to teach you how to take care of that, okay? All right. So today we're going to do a fraction. Right. Here are the steps. In case you're on the video, you can see the steps. Pause the video now. If you're in class, we have it done. So here we go. Watch me do numbers 1 and 2. So pencils down, okay? You're just watching. And today's going to be pretty foreign, so you don't want to move your attention from this, okay? Here we go. Number 1. Simplify. So we have x to the 3 halves over 2x squared, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to simplify anything I can. I always look at my coefficients first. We have a coefficient here of 1, okay? So we have 1x to the 3 halves over 2x squared. 1 over 2, we can't simplify. We can't, if I focus on the coefficients, I can't simplify those, so I'm going to bring that down. So we got 1 half, okay? And then we have x to the 3 halves and x squared, okay? So what I like to do is figure out which one's smaller, 3 halves or 2. Which one is smaller? 3 halves, right? 3 halves is like saying 1 1/2, so I'm going to cross that out, and I'm going to take 3 halves off of 2, which leaves 1 half, right? Because 2 minus 3 halves is 1 half. All right, so now I'm going to rewrite this. The x in the numerator disappeared, and then I have x to the 1 half in the denominator, okay? That new rule now applies. I don't like fractional exponents in my denominator, so now I have to think, how do I get 1 half to be a whole? 8/6, and then we got 3 plus 8 is 11, so this becomes 1 over a to the 11/6, all right? And now we have a fraction, right? What's the next whole number after 11/6? 2, right? 12/6, right? So what do I add 11/6 with to get 12/6? 1/6. So I'm going to multiply here by a to the 1/6 and a to the 1/6 here. Okay? And when we get that, numerator becomes a to the 1/6, denominator becomes a to the 12/6, or just a squared. And now we're done. Okay, so a lot of steps here. You're noticing I'm showing a lot of work all the way through, right? I even did a side problem because, you know, we're not very good at fractions, or some of us aren't. And then rationalize the denominator, multiplying by 1/6 both numerator and denominator, and then you get your answer right here. Okay? Does that make sense? So this is foreign. So I need you to talk about it right now. So I'm going to ask you to flip turns today. 2s are going to tell 1s about number 1, and 1s are going to tell 2s about number 2. So let's have the 2s talk first today. Ready, set, go. Here we go. Together, number 3 now. Okay? So we got same direction, simplify. N times 2n to the 5/4. Okay, so we have two terms here being multiplied. What is the let's worry about coefficients first always. What's the coefficient in front of the n? 1. Okay, good. So let's multiply the coefficients first. 1 times 2 is 2. So we know our coefficient of my answer should have a 2. Okay. Now what is the what's the exponents above here? 1. Good. So we should have a 1 there, right? So I have a same base of n, and then we have a 1, right? What do I do with my exponents here? Add them. So we keep the same base n, and we got 1 plus 5/4. Okay, so at this point I'm going to pass it on to you. This is like a fraction problem, and I want you to give me your answer. I'll give you about 30 seconds. Okay, go. If you're lost with fractions, you should have a side problem going 1 plus 5/4. I can make 1 a fraction by putting a 1 under it. The first thing you need to know with fractions, you need to have the same denominator when you're adding. So we should have a common denominator of 4. Second fraction doesn't change first fraction. We got 1 times 4 is 4, so 1 times 4 is 4. Then we add the numerators. 4 plus 5 is 9. Denominator is 4. Okay, that would be the fraction. So I want you to give me the final answer now. Ready? 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 2n to the 9/4 power. Okay, so, and I want to let you know, I saw some people try to simplify this. At 9/4, is this an improper fraction? Yes, we want to keep it improper. So get used to improper fractions. They are okay. All right, I don't know why they keep teaching younger students to be, mixed numbers are what you need. No, improper fractions are fine. Okay, number 4. Let's do this one together now. Here we go. So we got 4b to the negative 3/4 times 3b to the 3/2. Okay, so coefficients first. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, good. What's my base? Nope, base b. Right. So bring the b, and then we're multiplying the terms. So what should I do with my exponents? Add them. Good. So we should have b to the negative 3/4 plus 3/2. Okay, so you have a fraction problem again. Go. 12b to the 3/4, correct, is your answer. All right, continuing on here. Number 5. It's going to get a little more cray-cray up in here. Okay, so we have a bigger fraction, right? So I want to work in chunks. Numerator is my numerator. Is there anything I could do with that numerator? No. So we're going to just leave it alone. We're going to do a to the 5/3. Denominator. We have something we could do there, right? What does this become, everyone? A to what power? Good. So this could be a to the negative 4th power. And then bring down the rest, a to the 1/3. Okay. Can I do anything with my numerator still? No. So let's rewrite that. You got a to the 5/3. Denominator is, can I do anything with that denominator? What do I need to do? Combine them, right? So we got a to the negative 4 plus 1/3. What's negative 4 plus 1/3? Negative 3 2/3, right? But we need to do it in proper fraction. What's negative 3 2/3? Negative 11/3. Good. So in my denominator now we're going to have a to the negative 11/3. And the numerator still is the same as a to the 5/3. Okay. Now, we have a fraction in the bottom now, but what do we not like that we learned yesterday?
You don't want improper fractions.
No, you don't want negative, right? So I don't want this negative fraction, so it's going to be a to the negative 11/3. We need to move it up to the numerator, so it's going to be, let me draw a little arrow for you.
Wait, how did you get 11?
Let me finish this next step, and then I'll pause to let you know. So we got a to the 5/3 times a to the 11/3. Okay. So you asked how did I get 11? We did a side problem in our head, but so we got negative 4 plus 1/3. You see that step down there? Common denominator of 3, so it's going to be 3. 1/3. This one has a denominator of 1. So 1 times 3 is 3. So 4 times 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 plus 1 is negative 11. Okay. And by the way, I won't always do these side problems up here for you. Okay. I'm going to assume that you're getting it at one point. Okay. Because this really should be like, you should be quick at it. Okay. Finish up the problem. We're on this step. A to the 5/3 times a to 11/3. So finish it up. Where'd it go? Sorry about that. A to the 16/3. Good. Be careful not to put 5 times 11. Some students did that last class. Okay, last one, number 6. Number 6. Okay, so working in chunks, we're going to do this one together again. So we got this big numerator and this big denominator. So let's focus on the numerator. What should I do with that numerator first? Distribute the 1/2, right? What are we going to do with those exponents? Add or multiply them? Multiply them. Okay, so it's going to be n. And we got negative 4/3 times 1/2 is negative 4/6. Yes. That's our numerator now, right? Denominator. We have a multiplication sign, but we also have a power sign, right? So let's do the power sign. What's negative 1 times 1/2? Negative 1/2, right? So we got n to the negative 1/2, and then bring the rest of the problem down, which is just n to the 3/2. Okay, how did I get 4/6? You should know this, kids. 4/3 times 1/2. So numerator times numerator is 4. Denominator times denominator is 6. Does that make sense? Okay, that's a side problem. I'm going to erase that. Okay, continuing here. Can I do anything in my numerator, in my new numerator? No, so I'm going to just continue. We got n to the negative 4/6. We know that it shouldn't be there because we have a negative numerator there. Denominator, what should I do with my denominator? Add them. So it's going to be n to the 3/2 plus negative 1/2, which is just, what's 3/2 plus negative 1/2? Just 1, n to the first power, right? Or just n, that's right. Yep, absolutely. Okay, good. That makes things a lot easier. So now we have n to the negative 4/6. What should I do with this negative exponent? Do we like that there? No, so we have to move it. Okay, so we're going to have a 1 over n to the first plus 4/6 is going to be what? Improper fraction. N to the 10 over 6, good. Okay, finish up my problem. This is not done yet. You have to work on step number 2 specifically now. If an expression is left with a fractional exponent in the denominator, then multiply both the numerator and denominator by the amount to make the fractional exponent a whole number. So 10/6, what's the next whole number after 10/6? 12/6, which is 2, right? Okay, good. Finish up my problem, please. And I'll check up on you in about a minute. Okay, so yeah, silly mistakes here. So I know that you guys did n to the 2/6. You're multiplying because that's going to make the denominator a whole number. Whenever I do in my denominator, I also do in my numerator. So now my new numerator is going to be n to the 2/6, and my new denominator is going to be n to the 12/6, right? And we know n to the 12/6 is just really n squared. Numerator, what's 2/6 become? Okay, so it's really supposed to be n to the 1/3. Okay. Raise your hand if you made a silly mistake at the end there. I think most of you did. Okay, so please fix it. And I'd actually like you to write number 6 in your notebook. So I'm going to ask you to take 2 minutes to do that. And then that'll conclude our lesson.